Good evening, class. Today we're going to be discussing why not to keep Syrian refugees in our country. So currently there is a crisis going on. In Syria, they are in a war. Currently there is work, rape, torture, all sorts of murderous violence going on in that country. But that's not to say that that doesn't go on in our country as well. We are currently in the midst of our own economic crisis, and it's a big one. But there are three main issues that I need to address when letting refugees enter our country. So the first thing is they pose a decline to our economic welfare. Even though it may seem that they can bring some kind of economic structure to our government, they really pose no skills, labor, to really influence our economy and give it any kind of beneficial fiscal impact. There's also a fear of terror, and it's always present when having refugees enter a country. It's real. Terror is a real thing, and people should be aware of it. It's going on every day. There was just an attack in Ohio from a man claimed to be from ISIS who drove his car onto a college campus, got out and stabbed a couple of kids. That was pretty heinous. And there's also evidence to show that from other countries that refugees have been proven hazardous to the citizens in the other countries. They have had cases of rape, murder, and even sexual assault on females. So how do they affect your wallet? With the increased population, it's going to increase the competition. But mostly for us, it's not going to affect college working people, those with high-skilled labor jobs. It's going to affect all the menial labor, all those with unskilled and the existing migrant workers who live in our country. They're going to be the most at risk. Their jobs are going to be upheld and taken by refugees who need a couple of bucks just to get by. There's also been a study done from theeconomist.com, and they published from the International Monetary Fund that refugees will only impact our GDP, which is our gross domestic product, if any of you guys took economics in high school. It's how much our country will actually produce. And they're only going to affect us about 0.19%, not even a single 20th of a percentage. That's very little, and they're not going to have any kind of fiscal impact for us. And as far as how they've been doing in other countries, in the European Union, they've had very little fiscal impact, and they've actually added to the public debt. And with their higher joblessness among refugees, the unemployment will rise, meaning those who come to our country and don't want to work and just live day to day off of benefits and things like that, it's only going to increase, and it's going to cause inflation, and it's going to reverse the increase of state pensions. So our dollar amount of $10 for $10 an hour, that's not going to go up. They're going to keep it low, and they're going to keep it where it is. All right, so here's my graph. And so this is from the International Monetary Fund, and this shows the percentage difference of refugees in the dark blue versus other immigrants from other countries such as Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria. So this is the percentage difference to the native workers. These are about those who live in the country for less than 6 years, about 23% of them are actually working. That's pretty good. As for the other immigrants, a lot less. Okay, so the longer they live in the country, 6 to 10 years, the amount of employment goes down. They're working less. Living there 11 to 20 years, it's down to nearly 6%. Only 6% of them are actually working, giving an actual impact to our economy. If they're living in our country for more than 20 years, nearly 4%, 2% of them are actually working, benefiting our economy. Let's see how many of them live off of benefits. Okay, relative to natives. 22% who have lived in the country for less than 6 years. 6 to 10. Still less. They're still living off of our benefits. Less and less. But they're still not working. There's no impact for our economy. And if you really want to see how bad our economy is right now, we are in our own crisis. So, since 1981, our debt ceiling was about $1 trillion, meaning our government could only spend $1 trillion. In the past 20 years, it's raised up to $6 trillion, $5 trillion in 20 years. Okay, it's not that bad, but it's pretty bad. Let's jump 10 more years, 2011. $15 trillion. It's a lot of money. Just see where we're at right now. Oh, 19 trillion. Wow. A lot. So where are refugees going to impact us? They're going to be impacting us.
Let's just.
Right here. Those living in the United States is going to go up. Those without insurance is going to go up. Medicare, Medicaid, food stamp, and those receiving benefits. It's all going to go up. Thanks, refugees. Now, I'll pick Katrina to talk about terrorism.
For those that don't know, ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq in Syria. And we have all heard about the threats that we have gotten from ISIS. We see videos that have been posted on YouTube of heads being cut off. And for an example, there was a problem in Paris where a gunman and suicide bombers bombed the concert hall in Paris. 130 were killed. Hundreds were injured. Why would we want to risk that coming into the United States? For an example, we all know. You go back. Sorry. Alright, so we all know 9/11. Biggest terrorist attack in history. We see that 2,759 were killed. And this was just in the Twin Towers. 2,759. That is ridiculous. With 8,700 injured. Then we look at the planes that hit the Pentagon. Not as many, but still 189 people. That is 189 people of our population, innocent, who were killed. 200 injured. The plane that went down with the passengers taking over, 45 died. You add all that up, 2,993 deaths. Just because terrorists came into our country to ruin America. That's not ruining a lot of it, but that has taken us down, and that is giving us fear. 23 were planned to take this terrorist attack to America, but only 19 took action. And 19 of those hijackers were killed. If the others participated in it, we don't know. There could have been another terrorist attack somewhere on the East Coast, meaning more people would be killed. And there are many other terrorist attacks that have been told to us. So America should fear that if we let in Syrian refugees, yes, that is a stereotype for that type of country to be putting in terrorist attacks to action in America, but that is a risk that we would be taking, and we should not take that risk. We shouldn't put 2,993 more people at that risk of dying. We never know who is coming into our country. We just don't know that. And the identities with the terrorist attacks. We don't know, like I said, we don't know who's entering our country. Yes, they go through the background check, but there's a percentage that background check won't check everything for sure. There's been shown that some Syrians have left their actual identity cards at the border of Syria, made and passed through America with fake identities, fake passports. We have no record of who they are. So, why would we take that risk and let people that could be terrorists in our country? And like the crow said, there's murder, there's torture, and there's rapists back at their home. I understand that those are lives and that we should help out, but I believe that America should focus on their own citizens' safety before worrying about another country's safety. America is not the safest country yet, and there's still problems with America, but we need to build America up to be great before we start focusing on helping other people in the country. So, rather be safe than sorry. We don't want to regret letting in Syrians. We want to keep America safe. And that is that. And I will pass it off to Michael.
So, Syrian refugees don't see the same ways we do when it comes to equal rights. And from what we've seen with recent elections, yes, we are divided in a lot of ways, but at the same time, we do see things in a very equal way, especially when it comes to gay rights or just treating women with equal respect. And unfortunately, in Syria, they don't see it that way. It's a very vivid image. Not all Middle Eastern countries force their women to cover their faces, but unfortunately Syria is one of those countries, and Syrian refugees that come to our country won't see the same eye to eye to us when it comes to, women are being treated equally. I mean, why would they give respect in the same way if they don't give their own women respect? So, the oppression of women in the Middle East is a huge issue, especially with human rights, which is viewed very poorly in Syria. It has been for about 30 years, I'd say up until 2011, when the civil war started. And from then on, it's just been nothing but chaos. So on the next slide. So, about to show you a video. However, just to give a quick background to it, in this picture right here, it's the Cologne Cathedral, a bunch of protesters, mostly women, but some men are in there as well. And on the New Year's Eve in 2016, not just Cologne, Germany, but actually across Germany, there were thousands of accounts of groping and sexual assault by what they account about from 2,000 men, and all of these were refugees. Not all of them were Syrian, but however, there were quite a big majority, as well as from other Middle Eastern countries. And unfortunately, 1,200 women were assaulted. Not all of them were raped, however, but it's still very, very grotesque. So here is the video.
This is ridiculous. And I lived in Rome, Italy for a year, many years ago when I was a student. I've seen the statue of David, all of his glory, including his package. By the way. And what about if we go, the next time we show up an entourage to arrive, are they going to be, I want them decked out in Russell t-shirts with those 80 shorts with the American flag all over them. Are they going to do that for us? No.
Yeah. I mean, I think liberals have to stop insisting that the world is the way they want it to be instead of the way it is. There's a folk singer and an idiot named James Twyman. He is going to give a concert in ISIS-held Syria. There it is. Oregon musician claims he'll stop ISIS with peace songs at Syrian concert. He calls himself a peace troubadour. He's going over there with James, don't go. And so you say, again, you cannot just insist that the reality that you think about in your head is the reality that exists in the world. After the San Bernardino attacks, we were off the next week. I heard all of the TV. Everybody was saying, if only Americans knew more about Islam, they wouldn't be so afraid. Actually, it's the reverse. I'm sorry to say, but the more you know, the more you would be afraid.
Well, this is where, I mean, he's trying to do this. I'm going to do a show and it's going to change it. There are groups on the ground, Muslims, not Muslims, of course, that have chapters all over the world that are chained, that they're working for LGBT rights, who are working for women's equality. This is
We have to stand with them.
absolutely.
We have to be on their side.
Absolutely.
Not on the people who say Islamophobe who just help the neighbor.
I certainly like to see things on the media companies more often too, because all we see is on the left, it's, you're crazy hippie and all about peace and love and that's what, but on the right, all we see is we're going to go over there and we're going to run the shit out of them.
Right.
We're going to separate them from society. We want nothing to do with them. There's got to be a happy medium.
Well, that's your party.
And we'll go ahead and pass it off to James.
All right. So the moral of the story is, we live in a world where we wish that we could let a bunch of people into our country who come from a nation where women oppression is okay, where rape, torture, and violence is predominantly normalized, and where a country where we cannot fiscally bear the impact of more refugees in our country. We're already overpopulated as it is. We just can't let any more in our country. So I ask you, as a people, as a classroom, to keep Syrian refugees out of our country. Thank you.